Hello students, welcome to physics class. In previous class we are discussing the problems, and in previous classes we discussed about the problems which are related to the linear motion. Today we will solve some problems on the motion under gravity. See, in this motion under gravity, again we use the equations which already we discussed in classes. We know that kinematic equations of the motion, there is usually three equations we know: v equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus half at square, and third one is v square is equal to u square plus 2as. These are the equations for linear motion. If the body is moving under the gravity, means if the object is moving vertical upwards, if the object is moving downwards, in such case we are not using those equations. We modified those equations and we are using. This is for the upward motion, this set is for upward motion, this set is for downward motion. Already we know this one, already we discussed. ಈ ಮೂರು ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಅಪ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಮೋಷನ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಈ ಮೂರು ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್ನ ಡೌನ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಡೌನ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಮೋಷನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬರ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ ಇವುಗಳನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಈ ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಈಗ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಈ ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನಾವು ಈಗ. ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ವಿ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ನೋ ಸಮ್ ಸೈನ್ ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ಸ್. If the object is moving upward direction from the ground, velocities are take it as a positive. All velocities. It may be initial velocity, it may be velocity. And displacements are take it as a positive when it is moving upward direction. If the object is moving downward direction, then velocities are take it as a negative and displacement also take it as a negative. Usually it is. This is sign convention. But what about g value? G value is always take it as a negative. Why it is negative? If the object is moving in upward direction, the acceleration due to gravity is one direction, downward motion, downward direction. When object is moving upward, acceleration is acting downward. When the object is moving downward, acceleration is acting downward. Therefore, always its value is negative. But in some books, or most of the books, they are using the different sign convention. For upward motion, one sign convention for g. For downward motion, for one more convention, means for upward motion negative, for downward motion it is positive. In such a way they consider the g value. But for my class concern, now this is also method is there, that also you can use. But if you use g value is negative always, apply sign conventions, it is very easy to solve the problems. Problem solve ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ if you follow these sign conventions, it is more easy. Otherwise, in some books they consider upward motion is minus g and downward motion is plus g. You can use that also, but remember at that time s and v values, these sign conventions is going to change. ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಜಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನೇ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಅಥವಾ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ತೊಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರಂದ್ರೆ ಇದ್ರ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡತ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಬೇಕೈತಿ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ದೀಸ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್. ದ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಟು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಸಚ್ confusion, what I am going to use here, g value is always negative. It may be upward motion, it may be downward motion, whatever it may be, take it as negative only and apply the sign conventions like this. For upward motion, s and v's are plus. For downward motion, s and v's are minus. Take it in such a way, then it is more easy to solve the problems. You must remember by heart this one. Remember to solve such problems. Exam ಒಳಗೆ ಭಾಳ ಸಲ ಕೇಳ್ಯಾರ, ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಒಳಗೂ ಈ ಥರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಈವನ್ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ. ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭಾಳ ಸಲ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಈ ಸೈನ್ ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ನೆನಪಿಡಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಬುಕ್ಸ್ನಾಗ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಜಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂಗೆ ಇವುಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾಗ್ತದೆ. ದ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ to maintain negative sign for g value, ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಜಿನ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇವತ್ತೂ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಗಳು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊತ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಇದನ್ನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡೋದಾಗ್ತದೆ. That's why to avoid such confusion I kept this negative sign for g is fixed and I fixed these values. Why it is negative? If the g value is always why it is negative, as I said, if the object is moving upward action, if just think the acceleration is acting downward. If the object is moving downward action, acceleration due to gravity is downward, therefore always it is negative. Like that you should just remember. It is sign conventions. Okay, with the help of these sign conventions we will solve some problems. A stone is projected vertically up from the top of the tower at velocity 9.8 meter per second. meter per second. It reaches ground. In 4 seconds. Ground in 4 seconds. A stone is projected vertically up from the top of the tower at velocity 9.8 meter per second. It reaches ground in 4 seconds. What is the height of the tower? What is height of tower? And what is the height of the tower and the velocity of the stone when it reaches ground. See what they have given. Very interestingly, just observe. A stone is projected vertically up from the top of the tower. They are not thrown the stone from the ground. They thrown that object, that stone, from the top of the tower. Already the person who is throwing, he is on the top of the tower. One tower ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಗೋಪುರ. ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಒಂದು ಟವರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಂತಾರವರು. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ವರ್ಟಿಕಲಿ ಅಪ್ ದೇ ಥ್ರೋನ್. ದ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಈಸ್ ಥ್ರೋನ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಈಸ್ ಥ್ರೋನ್ ಅಪ್ ವರ್ಟಿಕಲಿ ಅಪ್ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಿಂಗೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ದೇ ಥ್ರೋನ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ವರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಅಪ್ in this direction from the top of the tower. Velocity, with the velocity, how much velocity? Initial velocity 9.8 meter per second. How much velocity they used to throw that stone? 9.8 meter per second square. It reaches the ground in a 4 second. How much time it will take to reach the ground? That is a 4 second. This is actual picture. And what is the height of the tower? H. Height of the tower, we have to find it. What is the height of the tower? That we have to find it. The height of the tower ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಬೇಕು ನಾನು. one thing. Second thing, and velocity of the stone when it reaches the ground. When it reaches the ground, when you throw the object of stone from the top of the tower, it will move like this and it will take the return to the ground. When it will take when it reaches the ground at that time, how much velocity, that we have to find out. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅದರ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹಾಕಿ ಹಿಂಗೆ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿತೀರಿ ಎಷ್ಟು. if you throw the object with a certain velocity, that is 9.8 meter per second, with that much of initial velocity, if you throw the object, it will move up. As you moving up, its velocity decreases and finally it becomes zero somewhere, and again it start to start to move downward direction. While coming in downward direction, its velocity go on increases and it will reach some final value. ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಮ್ಯಾಲೆ ಹೋಗಿದಾಗ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೈತಿ, ಮ್ಯಾಲೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಜೀರೋ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತಿ, ಡೌನ್ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ, ಕೆಳಗೆ ಡೌನ್ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೈತಿ. ಭೂಮಿಗೆ ಮುಟ್ಟಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಎಷ್ಟೈತಿ, that is a question. See how complicated case it is, but once you understand, then it is very easy. What is the height of the tower? They not given, that we have to find out it. What they have given, just go and write it. U is equal to given 9.8 meter per second square. See, U is a velocity. When object is moving upward downward direction, it is a plus or minus according to sign convention. I take it as a minus, because you thrown upward direction, or plus it is, you thrown upward direction plus, you thrown object, sign convention ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು. if the object is moving upward direction, velocities are positive and displacement is positive. But how it is coming downward direction, therefore displacement S is equal to negative h. Actual height is this much, displacement is minus h. Why it is minus h? See, when it is moved like this and again it come to the same level, we know the displacement formula, displacement definition. If the object came through to the same initial point, then its displacement is zero. See, here was same thing, it started here, it moves like this and come back to the same position. It means its displacement is zero. Up to here the displacement is zero. Then it will move in a negative direction or a downward direction. Therefore I take it as a negative. Negative means how much its height, h. Height consider minus h, therefore minus h. ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೋಗಿತೀರಿ, ವಾಪಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹೋಗಿದಾಗ ವಾಪಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದರೆ ಜೀರೋ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಅದ್ರ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋದರೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್. therefore the height, this value is, take it as a negative minus, and U is take it as positive. Why it is, you thrown upward means velocity is positive according to sign convention. What about G value? Negative 9.8 meter per second square. Where they have given, even though they don't given G value, we should remember that is a constant value everywhere, 9.8 meter per second. Or in problems you may take the 10, in sometimes they mention in 9.8 ಅಂತ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲವೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಒಳಗೆ, G ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ 10 ಅಂತ ತೊಗೊಳ್ರಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. 10 ತೊಗೊಂಡಾಗ 10 ತೊಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕಷ್ಟೆ. 9.8 ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 10 ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ 9.8 ಇದನ್ನು ಕೊಡದೇ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಒಳಗೆ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನು ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. G ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕೊಡದೇ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಆ G ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ನಮಗೆ. So according to sign convention, G is always minus. According to sign convention, G is always minus. Okay, I took this one. Next nodri, what they ask, what is the h value? We have to find out h value, and we have to find out the velocity, final velocity ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಫೈನಲ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಎಷ್ಟೈತಿ? we know that what is the height of the tower height ಬೇಕಾಗೈತಿ. ಈ ಹೈಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ರೀ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗೋದಂಥ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಹೌದಾ, ಇದೆಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿವಿ ನಾವು ಮೈನಸ್ ಎಚ್. ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಎಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಆರ್ ಎಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ವಿ ನೋ ದಟ್ ಎಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಯು ಟಿ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಹಾಫ್ ಜಿ ಟಿ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್. Put all the values. S is equal to minus h. Okay. Minus h means it is a height. Minus h means height. S is equal to height. What is the U? U 9.8. And one more thing they have given. It reaches the time also given. What is time? Time is equal to 4 seconds. Already given. Therefore 4. Time is 4 seconds. Minus 1 by 2, actual plus is there, plus g value minus 9.8, g value minus 9.8, therefore this becomes a minus 9.8 into t square means 4 square, time is 4, put all the values, you will get the height. 39.2. If you do it carefully, simplify it, go on it. 2 ones are 2 8s means 79 point something. How much it is? 78.4. 78.4. If you simplify, you will get a 78.4. Minus is minus. Here again minus sign, a plus means we have to take the difference. ಇದು ಈ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ಚಿಹ್ನೆ ಮೈನಸ್ ಇದೆ, therefore minus. ಒಂದು ಮೈನಸ್ ಇದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ತೊಗೋತೀರಿ. ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ 39.2. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮೈನಸ್. ಮೈನಸ್ ತೆಗೀರಿ. h is equal to 39.2 meter. This is your answer. This is your answer. What they asked? What is the height of the tower? Yes. ಯಾವುದೋ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ನ ಟವರ್ ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದು ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಹೋಗೋದ್ರಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಈ ಥರ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರಿ. ಹೈಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟವರ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಮೈನಸ್, ಜಿ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಮೈನಸ್. One case. Second case, velocity of the stone when it reaches the ground. After traveling this much of distance, when it reaches the ground, at that time what is the velocity? That is the final velocity. Final velocity is equal to v is equal to u plus at. U plus at. U plus at. See, v is, what is the v value required? U how much? 9.8 plus 9.8 minus 9.8 into t. 9.8 into 39.2. Here 9.8 minus. Here minus sign. How much it is? 39.2 minus 9.8. 39.2 minus 9.8. 39.2 minus 9.8, 29.4. 29.4 meter per second square. Remember this minus sign. Why it is minus sign? What it is indicates? Velocity. How much velocity? It is a minus 29.4 meter per second. Meter per second. Then why we get the minus sign? Minus sign indicates that it is moving downwards. As I said in a sign conventions, if the object is moving downwards, velocities are take it as a negative. V is negative because it is moving downwards. This negative sign indicates that object is moving downwards. That's why I got the negative sign. This is the one problem completes. Next ನೋಡ್ರಿ, Okay, a stone thrown upwards from the top of the tower. One more. Same type, stone thrown upward from top of tower, from the top of the tower, 75-meter height. A stone is thrown upward from the top of the tower. Again same type, on the top of the tower ಇಂದ ಒಂದು object, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೋನನ್ನು ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗಿದಾರಂತ, vertical upward. But height of the tower is given 75 meter. 75 meter. And it reaches the ground in 6 seconds. It reaches ground in 6 seconds. It reaches the ground in 6 seconds. Find the velocity with which it is thrown upward, comma, find the velocity with which it thrown. Object, one tower is there, a stone is thrown upwards from the tower. One tower ಇದೆ ಅಂತ, ಆ ಟವರ್ನಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಕೊಲ್ಲನ್ನು ಹೋಗಿದಾರೆ ಮೇಲೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೇಮ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್. ಅಗೇನ್ a stone is thrown upward from the top of the tower of height 75 meter. This height is given, h is equal to 75 meter. They are given this height. Height is how much? They are given. Total time also given, h is equal to 75 meter. Okay, fine. Then one more thing they have given. What is that? Time is given. Remember, time is always positive, it never becomes a zero. It never becomes a minus. It reaches the ground in 6 seconds. Time is given. Velocity with which it thrown, u is how much they ask. ಯಾವ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀರಂತ, how much its value, u is not asked. What they asked, what is the final velocity, they didn't ask. They asked to find the velocity through which it thrown. Remember, we know that again formula, s is equal to ut plus half gt square. Again, when you thrown the object vertical upwards, velocity value is positive according to sign convention. Therefore, u should be positive only. Okay, fine. U. What about time? 6 seconds. What about this 1/2 into, and one more I have to remember, what about g value? Bracket over g is 10 meter per second square. It is given, g value 10 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅವರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾರವ್ರು. g is positive or negative, I take it as negative according to sign convention. g ನ 9.8 ಅಂತ ಬರೆದು ನಡೀತದ, ಅವ್ರು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾರ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ನಾಗ 10. Why it is? Because in previous problem I took the g is equal to 9.8. In this problem I took the g is equal to 10. What is time? 6 into 3 is 36. What about this s? See, if the object is thrown in this way and again it come to the same level, its displacement is 0. The only thing is this must be the displacement, that is a 75. Its value is 75. but minus sign I consider. Why I consider minus sign? Remember, same. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಈಗ ಹೋಗಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ when it started its journey, when it reaches maximum height and again come to the same level, therefore displacement is 0. If the object starts its journey from one point, again it come back to the same point, its displacement is 0. From this point to this point, displacement is 0. Okay, displacement is equal to 0, but only remaining displacement is this much. This much displacement is equal to the h. This much displacement is equal to the h. H is the height of the tower, therefore s is a negative. Therefore how much it is? Minus 75. Next, simplify it. 2 ones to 18. 6u minus 180, 6u minus 180 minus 75. If we bring this side, 6u is equal to 180 minus 75. 180 minus 75. How much? 105 is equal to 6u. U is equal to 105 divided by 6, 17.5. How it is 17.5? Simplify. Just R1. 6 1s are 6, 4, 6 7s are 42, and 35. 0.35 means 5. 6 5s are 35. 17.5. If you simplify, no need to calculator for this one. Directly you can do. If it is not possible, then use the calculator, but don't depend on the calculator. Again, SI unit is meter per second. Is it positive or negative? Positive. Why it is positive? You thrown object is vertically upward, therefore velocity is positive. If this much is given, then what is the, you can add the one more question, that is the B part, not asked, but you can calculate with your own interest. You can calculate what is the velocity of the stone when it reaches the ground. V ಎಷ್ಟಾಗ್ತದೆ ನೀವು ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಯಿರಿ. You can calculate yourself. What is the velocity of the stone when it reaches the ground? This is your work. You do it. Take it as homework. Homework ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ರಿ. ಇದೇ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ನ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕೇನು? You have to find the V value. What is the V value when it reaches the ground? What is the velocity? What is the velocity of stone? What is the velocity of the stone when it reaches ground? What is the velocity of the stone when it reaches the ground? That is V equal to how much? This is your work. Take it as homework. You do it yourself. And what can we do? How can we modify this equation problem? Just to check it. This type of questions are very important for your board examination. Remember, don't neglect. You just remember or by heart the sign convention. If the object is moving upward, displacement and velocity is positive. If the object is moving downward, displacement and velocities are negative. G is always negative. In some books they take the varying the G value plus or minus. If you change that plus or minus, that method also there, but if you change the G value plus and minus, then you have to change the S and V values also. To avoid confusion, I am following this one. Okay, this is part what I discussed here. And next one more question. Take it as a homework. Again, one more, take it as homework. One more problem we take. Okay, this problem is take it as homework and solve it yourself. Next class again we will continue the remaining problems.